Good morning. This is Baton Rouge Labor Radio. I'm Michael D. Day. We're proudly broadcast on WHYR 96.9 FM. We're also rebroadcast on Facebook at Baton Rouge Local 198. You can go there, leave questions, comments, or anything you got. This morning, we're going to go over the endorsements. I'm going to go over the endorsements, the local endorsements from the AFL-CIO Central Labor Body. And these endorsements, what happens is, if to familiarize our listening audience, is all the labor unions come together and they do a screening process. Candidates come up seeking the endorsements of the labor bodies, and the unions will interview the candidates for, we've had the Greater Baton Rouge AFL-CIO has had a lot of candidates come for interviews in the past, from governor down, people that have held governor's office. But what they'll do is they'll screen them and ask questions and see where they stand on issues, normally and mostly labor issues. Prevailing wage, Davis-Bacon, this, that, there, if it's appropriate, and or city council people running for city council, see where they stand, because normally it is a stepping stone. Someone running for school board or city council, especially the East Baton Rouge City Council, has been like a straight step up to higher state politics. And so our organization, and I am a member of the AFL-CIO, tries to get people that are friendly to working men and women, and at least it usually gives us an idea where people stand, where people want to hold office stand. And so we go from there. This morning, got a letter here with the endorsements from Mr. Ernest Stevens, who is the president of the Labor Council, the Central Body Labor Council. And it goes like this. Dear brothers and sisters, after a number of interviews and careful and thoughtful consideration, the Greater Baton Rouge AFL-CIO offers the following candidates for the upcoming election on November the 6th, 2012. And they start out with Associate Justice to the Supreme Court, 5th District, which is this Baton Rouge, our listening area district, is included in that. And the favorable is John Michael Guidry, Tony Higginbotham, Jeff Hughes, and Jewel E. Duke Welsh. That sounds about like everybody in the race is favorable, okay? Then we go down to Judge, Court of Appeal, 1st Circuit, 2nd District, Sub-District 1, Division B. That's a hell of a title there. Trudy White has been endorsed. Well, no, has been ruled favorable. There's a difference between favorable and endorsement. An endorsement is the whole hook, line, and sinker. Labor's going with them. Favorable means, they're okay, you know. So we go down to Public Service Commission. District 2. Eric Ponte has been found favorable. Now, Eric Ponte has also, he's been on the East Baton Rouge Parish City Council. Forrest Wright, I'm not familiar with, but has been found favorable, and that's for the Public Service Commission District 2. So we're going to go down to the mayor-president. Endorsed, fully endorsed, Melvin Kip Holden. I guess Ernest Stevens and the screeners have been hypnotized. Just kidding. Kip has done a lot for working men and women in this parish. And there's no denying it. He's worked hand in hand, and he is a good man, and he's always worked with labor. He's always tried to give people a hand up. And I've got to agree, my personal view is I got to agree 100% on this endorsement, that Kip Holden has done more than enough to be reelected. So we'll go down to Metro Council District 1. That would be Trey Welsh, endorsed. Councilman Metro District Council District 2, there's been 2 favorable labels here, Corey Alfred and Chana Banks Daniel. Both have been found favorable. We go to my council lady, woman, Metro Council District 6, Donna Collins Lewis, fully endorsed and should be. And I have called Councilman Donna Collins Lewis's office on several occasions for issues in the neighborhood, and it has been taken seriously, addressed, problems solved, to my liking anyway, you know. There was at least on 2 or 3 occasions I've called her off. 3 occasions. And the person that works for her has got involved. She's very competent. Can't recall her name right now, but she did get it done. She did get the problems resolved. That's every time I've called. So not only does the Metro Council District 6 endorse Ms. Donna Collins Lewis, I endorse her from this desk, if that means anything. Metro Council District 7, C. Denise Marcel, has been endorsed. Metro Council District 10, Tara Wicker, endorsed. Metro Council District 12, R.J. Smokey Bourgeois, endorsed. City Court Judge, ES2C City of Baton Rouge, Alex Brick Wall, endorsed. City Court Judge ES2E, City of Baton Rouge, Susan Pounder. I guess she's endorsed. City Constable, City Court of Baton Rouge, Reginald R. Brown Sr., endorsed. That's the endorsements from the people that are looking out for the working people in Baton Rouge. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to go vote from the top down. Labor has got a full endorsement of President Barack Obama for another 4-year term as president. My favorite is Joe Biden. Anybody that can come off the cuff like that, he should have a radio on he should have a show on WHO on this radio station. I would love to interview Joe Biden. That would be great. He says what he says, and he has always stood up for working people. He got elected in Delaware as senator by going union hall to union hall at the age of 29 years old. So I would love to have him on WHYR 96.9 FM. Vice President Biden, if you want to come on our show, you're welcome anytime. And speaking of presidential politics, the reason, without a doubt, is that President Barack Obama got the endorsement from just every labor organization in the world, in this country, is because what he has tried to do and what he has done for working men and women. And along with that is a lot of what Willard Mitt Romney has said he's going to do when he comes into office. I mean, this guy is going to eviscerate the labor movement if you go by what he said in front of organizations like the American Builders and Contractors, which is a fervent anti-union organization. He's told you he wants to roll back Davis-Bacon, which protects all the protections really of working men and women. Most of the Republicans affiliated with the Tea Party that are in the Senate and Congress now have voted against just everything. The equal women's pay, Lilly Ledbetter, and he has a big deficit. Willard Mitt Romney has a big deficit among women voters in every poll. This affects all men and women. We're going to go to a little clip now from Mitt Romney, presidential candidate. He was former Republican governor of Massachusetts, which he's down by about 28 points in his own state. That says a lot to me. So he's at the American Builders and Contractors, known as ABC, giving a little speech there. And we're going to go to a little snippet of that. And this is in Willard Mitt Romney's own words.
If I become president of the United States, I will curb the practice we have in this country of giving union bosses an unfair advantage in contracting. One of the first things I will do, actually on day one, is I will end the government's favoritism towards unions in contracting on federal projects and end project labor agreements, and I will fight to repeal Davis-Bacon.
Well, you heard it for yourself. He will end project labor agreements and fight to repeal Davis-Bacon. Davis-Bacon is the law that allows prevailing wages. They come in, especially on federal work, like the hospital in New Orleans. They take what the prevailing wages are in the area and they say, hey, you can't come in here and build this and undercut wages of the area. And that's what Willard Mitt Romney has said he will do. And so it's very important to get out and vote. And, you know, we don't have any senatorial candidates running this time. But it's just, like I said, it's very important to get out and vote and make sure you, Romney is anti-worker, anti-union, and just everything you could name against working people. And he thinks that he should be able to run everything from the top, from the business perspective, and that if they do that, everything's going to be okay. Workers will get by. And, you know, that's just been found to be untrue. Now, with that, Barack Obama, the American Recovery Jobs Act, which he's been trying to get through, $120 billion in construction projects funded by the American Recovery Reinvestment Act. The act required employees to pay prevailing wages and benefits to those federal projects and expanding prevailing wage coverage to 40 federal programs. That's very important for people trying to feed a family. He has created up to 6.8 million jobs in all U.S. industries and sectors as of November 2011, including 600,000 union construction jobs. Also authored the American Jobs Act, a fully paid-for measure that dedicates over $100 billion to rebuilding schools, roads, bridges, water systems, and other infrastructure. And, you know, this Congress is just fighting him tooth and nail on all of that. Something very important here is the new nuclear loan guarantees and project agreements. Awarded $8.33 billion in federal loan guarantees through the Energy Department to construct 2 new nuclear reactors at Southern Company's Vogtle Electric. That's in Georgia, but Waynesboro, Georgia, creating 3,500 construction jobs and 800 permanent jobs. And that job is a go. That job is a go. These new nuclear reactors, the first to be built in the U.S. in 3 decades, will be covered by project labor agreements ensuring that union workers are employed. Seeking $54.5 billion in loan guarantees to construct additional nuclear power plants. And we need the power, which is 3 times the amount of funding for nuclear power plant construction that was authorized during the Bush administration, and enough to build between 7 to 10 new reactors. In our area, you may be against this, you may be for it, but it does create jobs. Supports building new crude oil pipeline from Cushing, Oklahoma to Port Arthur, Texas, has expanded offshore drilling on previously prohibited government land. Well, American oil production is at its highest level in 8 years. supports the safe development of our nation's natural gas resources. This expansion has the potential to create more than 600,000 industry jobs, supports incentives for manufacturers to make safe, efficient energy upgrades to natural gas. He has increased. Now, if you want to go to this, you can, where I'm reading this, you can go to uagetinvolved.org. That's one word, uagetinvolved.org. Here's a very important point. Increase Davis-Bacon investigations. Prevailing wages, that's the area wages in an area that federal projects are supposed to pay by law. This law has been in effect for many years. Prevailing wage complaint investigations expected to double over 2 years from roughly 400 to 800, while directed investigations are expected to increase from 90 to 250 per year, projected to complete over 2,000 prevailing wage violation investigations. Dedicated roughly 12 million and 106 full-time investigators to prevailing wage enforcement on Recovery Act projects to prevent unscrupulous employers from violating the laws, federal laws, undercutting good employees, and cheating workers out of what they owed. We're not going to have time to go over all of this, but if you want to read more, go to www.uagetinvolved.org. We'll go over a lot of this on some reoccurring shows, and you can pick this up. We're going to definitely run a lot of this on Facebook at Baton Rouge Local 198. We're going to just scan over it here. Aggressive enforcement of key safety and wage hour laws. That's very important for everybody, whether you're union or non-union. You know, we're going to have to cut it off here for now. This is Baton Rouge Labor Radio, and we are proudly broadcast on WHYR 96.9 FM. I'm Michael D. Day, and as we always say on Baton Rouge Labor Radio, if you work for free, you'll always have a job. Live better, work union. Have a nice day.